Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy set schedule to come to watch another episode. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to be talking about the Life Principle Foundations. And we're going to go hand in hand. The foundation is what you're built on, but we're also going to be looking at it from the idea of your soil. That's the ground in which you're planting. And I know we talked about positioning last week, and it's more in terms of, okay, fine, so I'm in this position. Now is my environment right for my growth? That is still the idea of checking it. So it's still, they're more like the location, but also the idea of the environment you find yourself as well. How now you've been planted in a particular location, how do you make that location work for you in terms of your growth? We'll be taking our scriptural anchor from Mark 4:8, which says, "Still other seeds fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, and some 100. Remember in our previous episode, we talked about you as an individual, your assignment or your purpose is to bear fruit. So your fruit may be 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold, but the soil in which you are planted in really does matter. So just think about it now. Like, if you're planting a seed and putting it into soil, even if you have a good seed, a good location, but the soil in which you're planting it is not right, your seed will not grow. Likewise, the ground beneath our feet, that's the values, habit, relationship, and discipline we cultivate, determines whether we can withstand the storms, grow steadily, or reach our full potential. And something about foundations and the soil, it's intentional. Like even like we're planting, you just don't go and grab soil from anywhere. You buy choice soil. Even if you have old soil, you nourish it, you treat it because you know that is the base of your foundation, and based on what it is your seeds and your plants are going to be growing on. So you need to understand that what is beneath the surface determines the future of the harvest. What is now beneath your surface, as I mentioned, is more of your values, your principles, what you stand for. Those are the things that are the base and the focus on the foundation on which you're going to grow. So with looking at your foundation, it requires a lot of soul searching. So when you're looking at this, so if we're going to go with the idea of 5 steps towards building a strong foundation, step 1 is loosen the ground. And I said it begins with honesty. Take a look at yourself. Reflect on areas in your heart that have become tough. Places that have been shaped by disappointment, fear, pride, unhealed hurts, or just places that are hard, whereby there's a limit to what can come in to soften it or to build anything on it. You're setting your ways. This is how it's supposed to be. That's what it is, and all of that. Look at that and ask God to help you loosen those grounds, because the truth is, until you loosen those grounds, there can be no change. And soft ground makes room for new beginnings. Step 2 is more in terms of enriching your soil. Healthy soil does not stay rich on its own. It must be fed continually. Remember when we're planting and moving our things outdoors, even with your soil, we had to add compost. We're nourishing the soil. So always find how to nourish your soil. It could be in terms of prayer. It could be in terms of meditation. It could be in positive affirmation, quiet moments with God. Just that time to enrich your soil, your values daily. And it's the idea of whether we're willing to accept it or not. Every day, life drains something from us. So on a daily basis, it could be at minimum daily. It could be hourly. It could be quarterly. It could be just continue replenish yourself on those nourishments you need to continue sustaining your growth. Step 3 is still more or less the idea of clearing out hindrances. When you're planting, weeds, rocks can block your plant's roots from forming. That's the way certain habits attitudes and influences can be limited. Pay attention to what drains you, distracts you, or holds you back. Release negative self-thoughts, negative self-images, unhealthy patterns, and things that just suffocate your progress. Sometimes we know some things that are bad that we shouldn't do, but we keep on doing it. So it's more or less asking God to help you to clear out the hindrances to your progress and to your growth. Step 4, I've mentioned it and I'll continue to mention it. Nurture consistently. Look at it now. When you're looking at your plants, you fertilize you water consistently, you fertilize your plants consistently. That's the way it is. You should nurture your soil, your soul, consistently. Daily scripture, exercise, gratitude practices, just daily, nourish yourself. Whatever feeds your soul that positively, nourish yourself consistently. And step 5 is staying rooted in the right environment. Once you find that right environment, your sweet spot, your sweet routine in terms of what you're doing, that thing that works for you, stay rooted and grounded in it. Your growth accelerates when you remain connected to people and spaces that uplift, challenge, and support your development. That's it. So, yes, your environment matters, but when you now find it, root yourself in it, stay there. The right environment nurtures your roots and help you bear long-lasting fruits. Now, for our reflection this week, it's just the idea of just take a moment to consider the soil around you. So not the physical environment, but what surrounds your heart. That's really the heart and your soul. That's really where it comes from. Understand that growth is not a race. It's not meant to be forced. You will flourish when you honor what you need and allow yourself to be planted where you can breathe, stretch, and thrive. That's really it. And also know that foundations may be hidden, but it shapes everything in it. Invest in the soil of your heart and habits. It may take time. I'm sure you've seen this analogy whereby most people only see what's up, not necessarily what's down in terms of your root. But the depth of your roots in that good soil is what determines how far and high you can grow. And that's the thing like that, a foundation. Imagine you're building a house, architect. Yeah, building a house. The deeper your foundation is, the larger you can build on top in terms of the kind of building, the skyscraper you can build on top. So think about your soul, i.e., your habits, your heart, your soul needs to be nourished and built solidly because it will be able to withstand whatever comes in any season and every season of your life. And for this week, in terms of analogies, in hindsight, I think this series should have been done in summer, where I'm able to show more of the step-by-step. But in hindsight, I'm going to show you clips from our, I think, episode 5 or 6 from our previous season, where we moved our plants outdoors. As you can see in this first video, you have to break the soil before you can even think about planting. And that resonates with step 1, whereby you have to soften the ground before anything can actually be planted or anything can actually grow. Also, when we're moving our things outdoors, remember how we had gotten our soil ready? We still added compost to nourish the soil. Likewise, these are things you need to put in terms of nourishing. Daily scripture, exercise, eating healthy, feeding right. Those are things that you need to succeed in life. So, action item I, homework. So, reflect on your personal foundation and then choose one area to strengthen this week. I just add a habit that nourishes your roots. It could be anything, as I said, anything little, anything small. It could be drinking more water in the day. It could be doing a bit more exercise, getting active. It could be reading a scripture. It could be anything. But just pick a habit that nourishes your roots. And then likewise, remove a barrier that holds you back. And any barrier could be binging on TV, extra time on screen time that you shouldn't be, social media, overeating, snacking. It could be anything. Just add one good habit, remove one not so good habit, and see how that goes. And remember, as we move forward, the strength of your life above is shaped by the soil beneath. And just a reminder, and this is going to be taken from Matthew 7:24 to 27. The wise man built his house on the rock. It rained hard and the water rose. The winds blew and hit the house, but the house did not fall because the house was built on rock. Once you have good soil, i.e. a good foundation for life, whatever life throws your way, you are able, by God's grace, to withstand that. And whatever storm comes your way, you'll always end up victorious. Thank you so much for joining for this episode. If you would like to learn a bit more about foundation, soil, how to make sure the ground you're standing on is supporting your growth, please feel free to reach out. I'll be glad to share additional resources with you. And thank you so much. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.